like you said earlier, beaten them twice before, but this is the real spotlight. The German ladies have a bit of a reputation for keeping their calm and cool on the big occasion. Saw that at the Olympic Games. But if these girls can pick it up where they left off no more than a couple of weeks ago, we could see the biggest upset of the tournament here right now in the Red Bull Arena.
And there's a look at 22-year-old, 180 centimeters tall. That is Sarah Hughes. Absolutely spectacular defender in the backcourt. Dominated the college ranks. This team, between the two of them, they had a 103-match win streak over a 2-year period. Sarah Hughes, 6 national championships. Kelly Claes, the 21-year-old, 186-centimeter tall full-time blocker. She had 5 national championships at the University of Southern California. So a lot of promise with this duo, and a lot of people calling them the future of American volleyball. On the other side of the net, a crowd favorite, no question about it. Laura Ludwig loves the crowd, loves to fire it up. At 31 years of age, 5'10", 180 centimeters tall. She's one of the most fun players that you could ever watch, and most dynamic. Never giving up on a play. One of the best defenders that you will ever see. And her partner, wow, has she made improvements over the last few years, taking her game all the way to the top of the podium in Rio. 184 centimeters tall, the 26-year-old Kira Walkenhorst.
This is the kind of experience that the young Americans have come to these World Championships for, to get pitched up against the Olympic champions in the round of 16. Victory for either of these teams will mean a place in the quarterfinals. But as Dana's already pointed out, the young Americans have beaten the Olympic champions twice before, and they beat them just a couple of weeks ago in Long Beach. So can they do it again here in Vienna? United States of America have been put in to serve first. Hughes puts the ball into play. Laura Ludwig with the set for Walkenhorst. Walkenhorst over the top of the block of Kelly Claes. No signs of early nerves from Germany, that's a fact.
You know, we've mentioned it before, coming out here on center court, you don't get a lot of time. When they do the introduction, send you out here, you only have about 5 minutes to get ready, so you better be on top of your game, as Kelly Claes with a beautiful pass and then going right down the line. When this American duo beat this German team in Klagenfurt last season, it was the last time Germany ended up losing. They went on a 13-match win streak. Of course, that including the Olympic Games. There's Kelly Claes with a tip over the net.
Oh, what a great start for the youngsters. I must repeat, they're just 21 and 23 years of age. First World Championship. They've kick-started this first step, Dane, like seasoned pros.
And if I know the Americans, they will be challenging Kira Walkenhorst as much as possible. They have scouted this team and they have done their homework. They know how dynamic Laura Ludwig can be. If you can keep Ludwig out of the mix, out of the action, that gives you a great chance.
Well, service error, giving the ball and point right back to the United States of America. Now Hughes goes to the back of the US court to take the service. Same service error from the young Americans. Scores are all tied at 3 points all. Here is Laura Ludwig, European champion, World Tour final winner, Olympic champion. This is the one medal and trophy that's missing from this ladies' cabinet.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're calling it the Triple Crown these days. If you can win that World Tour finals, which they did in Toronto last year, and then they also won the Olympic Games, and then the World Championships would complete that. A team that already has the Triple Crown, that would be Alisson and Bruno. Of course, they won the World Championships in 2015. They won last year the World Tour finals, and of course, everybody knows that they won that gold in Rio not long ago.
They're still in the tournament here in Vienna as well, Dane, looking to successfully defend the world title. They won in The Hague 2 years ago. Looking forward to seeing those guys on centre court tomorrow here in the Red Bull Arena. But with the ladies looking to settle their round of 16, they're trading side out, point for points, score for score here. And I have to say, I'm impressed with the young American girls holding their own and holding their nerve at the opening exchanges of this first set. Hughes continuing to serve to Walkenhorst. Great pickup from Sarah Claes. And that's a break point for the young Americans. 6-4.
How about that? Kelly Claes, look at this. She lands, we call that turning and burning. She lands, lays it out, gets the ball up in the air, keeps it in play, resets, and some just phenomenal defense being played. Perfect control by Sarah Hughes, and what does she do? A little controlled shot over the block. You can tell the Americans have come to play, pinpoint focus throughout the entire rally.
Clearly the tactic from the USA is to serve Kira Walkenhorst, trying to keep Lara Ludwig out of the game. Walkenhorst hits that a little too hard. 3 clear for the United States, 7-4.
Lara Ludwig looks very concerned when she took a look at Kira Walkenhorst, and she immediately motioned to a timeout. So this is an early timeout for the gold medalist against the youngsters right now, who are seizing control with 3 points in a row.
Well, is this about to become the biggest story of these World Championships so far? The new kids on the block from California giving the Olympic champions a real run for their money in the opening exchanges of this first set day.
You know, when we saw China play Germany the other day, we were questioning why do they keep going to Lara Ludwig, who was just on fire, playing spectacular volleyball. And obviously the Americans have done their homework. Ludwig is in rare form, whereas Walkenhorst, she seems banged up. Look at all the kinesiology tape on her shoulder, on her back, on her left leg. She has been really injury prone over the years, even though she's extremely strong. The Americans sensing a weakness and going at her consistently.
This time, Kira Walkenhorst puts the ball right down to the sand and justifies the call of the timeout from Team Germany.
That's a rifle of a hit. Kira Walkenhorst, when the set is right, Lara Ludwig celebrating there, but she knows how to get that ball to the sand.
Good attacking shot from Sarah Claes. Good side out for the USA. Maintain the 3-point break.
Kelly Claes crushing that ball right there, going inside out. And you know what? If Kelly Claes is hitting that ball every time, that's her strength. That's her power. Oh, that was just out. Interesting start right here. And like I said, the ball control seems to be on point for the United States. Something that was a bit shaky when we saw him in that round of 32 against Spain.
14 total on the board. Quick side switch. Another good shot from Kelly Claes.
And the Olympic champions looking a little bit frustrated. Claes has shown her power. That a nice little soft shot right in front of Kira Walkenhorst, who thinks it's out. I always like to say, you gotta play those close ones.
Sarah Hughes serving Kira Walkenhorst this time. This could change things for Germany. Oh, well, Kelly had her hands at the net, didn't she? But she didn't quite get the direction of the ball that she was hoping for.
You have to aim and press back into the real meat, the center of that court. Otherwise, you get tooled out of bounds.
Ludwig, service for Germany. Again serving Kelly Claes. Joust at the net. Claes comes out on top. Good set for Hughes. Hughes wins the joust at the net with Walkenhorst, but Germany are given the point.
An open hand attack. You can do this indoor volleyball, but you can't use open fingers on the beach. Here comes Sarah. She's expecting a joust. The block isn't there, so she ends up throwing the ball. And a great call by the head referee, Hobie.
Oh, Kira Walkenhorst gets her first big power play of this opening set to tie the scores at 9-all.
Kira Walkenhorst is an absolute powerhouse. When the set's on point, you better duck and cover. Look at her blast this ball, bounces on the sand before it even gets to Hughes.
Recorded at 75 kilometers per hour. That's at just over 46 miles per hour.
It's a heavy hit. And we've seen a lot of heavy hits this afternoon. Earlier, Lauren Fendrick taking one off the face, which was a spectacular play. She recovered from it. They can get dangerous out there. Nice shot to the corner by Walkenhorst. Sarah Hughes trying to run it down. A good read, but this shot is just too precise. That's where you want your line shot to land, right in that deep corner. Kira Walkenhorst, with all the experience in the world, just at 26 years of age.
Lovely shot. Just pushes it out into the technical timeout. That's the halfway point of the first set. We take a 30-second break. The advantage is back with Germany at 11 points to 10. Here's the slow-mo replay of Kelly Claes cutting the ball nicely, but just putting a little too much power on it.
That's the shot you just have to execute.
Wait, hey, he's fine. That was a great idea, Cal.
So let's take a look at the serve placement of the American team. Everything to the far right to the corner. It's the side of Walkenhorst and Dane. Quite simply, they're trying to keep Ludwig out of the match as much as they can by serving Kira.
Yeah, and if you were to look at Ludwig's numbers, you'd see how much success she's having on the offensive end. This is a smart strategy. Go to the right side of the court, serve Kira Walkenhorst, test her. There's all that kinesiology tape on her shoulder, her back, her left knee, and so she's been plagued with some injuries, but still playing some really spectacular volleyball, and when that set's in her wheelhouse, she shows you just how dangerous she is.
Let's take a close look at Kira Walkenhorst with service now for Germany. Oh, and there's the first serious fumble on the serve receive from Kelly Claes.
Here's where that inexperience starts to play. Remember, Kelly Claes, she shot that ball out of bounds right before the technical timeout. Now, she shanks a pass. She needs to recover very quickly.
That'll help. That will help that recovery process. Very important point on the board, side out for the US. Now, Sarah Hughes, 23 years of age, with service.
Oh, she had that ball up. Kelly seemed to have quit on the ball, and you cannot make decisions. You just have to land and be going for it immediately. A tough play nonetheless. But there's no time for decisions, just gotta pursue.
Break is back with Germany at 13-11. Laura Ludwig with service. And Kelly Claes plays that shot, and off the block of Kira Walkenhorst.
A beautiful play right there, getting out of some trouble, tooling the block out of bounds, and that's been the kind of the knock against Kelly Claes. Once she gives up a couple points, sometimes things can start to unravel. As she matures, she'll be able to get back on track a little bit quicker. Nice cut shot. And we saw Brazil do this to the Swiss earlier today. When you have a top-level team, a team like this that's an Olympic champion, you don't see where they score the points all the time. They just kind of chip away 1 point at a time and try to get some separation. There's another errant pass.
Well played, America. Hughes getting Kelly Claes out of trouble there. Very poor service receive. That's something that Kelly needs to sharpen, Dane.
Absolutely. Good recovery, though. Whenever you have a bad pass, if you can better the ball and get the set to the point, you'll achieve success. There's Laura Ludwig. Now the question you have to ask, why did they decide to go to Laura Ludwig? If that wasn't enough of a reminder, look at the perfect pass. She gets outside, and look how high she gets and crushes that ball. That's such a sharp angle.
We have this wonderful saying, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. Lovely serve from Ludwig right to the center of the two American players, but that's good work from Hughes. Over the top of Walkenhorst's block, and just one behind Germany. Good service here from the Americans, could tie the scores. Another service error, again from Kelly Claes, starting to frustrate the young American. Too clear now, Germany at the business end of the first set. The American girls just need to be careful, dig deep here now. Kira Walkenhorst will put the ball into play. Ludwig with the set. Good play from Kelly Claes. 15-16. Keeping their nerve.
Solid play right there. Here's a look at Claes. She goes up, rips the ball, crossbody, and down the line for the kill. A very important 15th point for the United States.
Hughes with service. Good deep float to Kira Walkenhorst once again. But Walkenhorst, with the most perfect pass from her partner, puts that away in style.
Well, you definitely don't want to drop off the net right there. This is one of the most feared offensive players in the world. And with a good set, she's just going to thunder that ball straight down. Kelly Claes has to stay at the net. A little tight.
Well, way too close to the net, Dane, for Hughes to do any damage.
Yeah. Sarah Hughes, she needs a couple of feet to work with. That ball right on top of the net. And we're talking about a 5'10" Sarah Hughes against a 6'1" Walkenhorst. And she jumps well. She has got the advantage. One of the best blockers and offensive players out here.
Oh, and again, Hughes has put that too deep. Germany now in control, 19-15.
Kelly Claes with another error. Digs that ball, goes out of bounds right here, and those errors are starting to mount right here for Kelly Claes.
Yeah.
As I was talking about earlier, 1 or 2 is fine, but when you get to 3, 4, 5 in one set, then...
Hey, we get this and we roll. Exactly.
Timeout called by the USA. 3 points lost in succession there to Germany, all through errors of Kelly Claes on the left of your screen. I like the way Hughes is trying to keep her partner upbeat, trying to keep her motivated, not giving any sign of giving up on this first set just yet. There is a chance that America could pull it back.
Yeah, that's one of the strengths of these collegiate champions, Hughes and Claes, very positive. Sarah Hughes encouraging her partner. We've seen so many teams out here kind of go their separate ways and get upset with one another. You don't see that with these young Americans.
Kelly Claes over the top. Oh, but a quick turn. Almost got it, didn't she, Ludwig? Well, the timeout works to the favor of the USA. Pulling 1 point back at 16-19.
That's a big score, a must-score situation. Switching 19-16, really up against it right here. The Germans have controlled this first set, and it's been due to the fact they've gotten points in bunches. On three different occasions, they've gotten 3 points in a row.
Kelly Claes serving Kira Walkenhorst.
Go, go.
Oh, another great shot from Kira. Olympic champions starting to show their quality now.
Such a great team. Remember in 2016, They had the most successful season ever on the FIVB Tour of a European team, winning 69 of 79 matches that they competed in, 7 gold medals.
Oh, what a way for Germany to wrap up the first set, 21-16. Both Kelly Claes and Sarah Hughes thought they'd earned a chance of another crack at the German lead, but not to be. Kira Walkenhorst digs this from nowhere, and Ludwig puts it away.
Olympic champions making that one look easy. You see the fire that she brings, so mentally focused and physically ready every single play is Kira Walkenhorst, and I think she's been really instrumental. She, of course, the senior at 31 years of age, really bringing Walkenhorst up over the last few years to a very high level. There's a look at the match statistics, dead even with attacks, blocks 1-0, aces 1-0. And you know what? When you have an extra block or an extra ace here and there, that's the cause of just a slight victory there in that first set.
So let's take a close look at the service placement of Germany. They've been serving to Kelly Claes, and Kelly Claes has had one too many shank passes. She's had one too many problems, and that statistic clearly shows that Germany have figured out the weakness in the chain for the Americans. They're literally cutting Hughes out the match.
Well, you know, she's actually played okay. It's just a few service errors, like you said, serve-receive errors, and then the unforced errors of hitting the ball out of bounds. Those are the ones that start to mount.
So first point on the board for the United States of America as we go into set 2. The Olympic champions, Laura Ludwig and Kira Walkenhorst, have won the first, 21 points to 16, which means America have to win this second set to take it to a third tiebreak. Great shot from Kira Walkenhorst. Now their confidence is starting to grow. They haven't had as many matches pre-World Championships as they would have liked, this German pair, Dane, but they're starting to find their rhythm, they're starting to find the groove and find it nicely.
Kelly Claes just completely not ready for that short serve. If you know the serve's coming your way, you have to think, okay, they might serve me short, they might serve my line. I'll let Sarah get the middle of the court, but almost as if she wasn't ready for that. She needs to be on her toes, ready to make a move.
America needs to be careful here. Germany have come into the second set with just as much momentum as they did at the end of the first. Service error from Walkenhorst. Scores tied at 2-all. Here's Kelly Claes. Another service error from Kelly. Gives the point right back to Germany without having to do hardly any work for it at all.
Kelly Claes has a rifle of a serve. We just have not seen it yet. A great kind of hybrid jump float. There, the cut shot almost doesn't make it over the net right there. And Kelly Claes really needs to refocus before this thing gets out of hand.
Ludwig again with service. Well played, Kelly Claes. Coming under a huge amount of pressure from the German Olympic champions. And you also have to spare a thought, Dane, for her partner, Hughes, because Hughes isn't having a lot to do, to be honest.
Yeah, Hughes being somewhat taken out of the game, almost like the Americans are doing to Ludwig on the other side. That's what you do in beach volleyball. You pick a player that you're going to go to. That goes to Kira Walkenhorst. Looks like it's out of bounds, but a big touch, I believe, off the top of the hands of Kelly Claes. So Kelly Claes needs to start to come up with a couple of blocks, and Sarah Hughes maybe some defensive plays to put some pressure on the Germans.
Great up from Hughes to give Claes the chance and the position to put the point away.
Great little poke shot there, getting out of trouble. And the walk back to the serve receive kind of tells it all. Kelly Claes not that confident right now, having a lot of trouble with the German serves, and a lot of players do, because Germany, one of the toughest serving teams in the world. I think we're going to get a challenge here. The ball called out of bounds. Laura Ludwig signaling for a challenge. I believe ball in or out. We'll find out right here.
Challenge by Germany for ball in.
So ball in. The ball was initially called out. That ball looks like it might be just outside the line. Might be the right call. Remember, each team gets 2 challenges, and that's clearly about 2 inches long. I'll tell you what, the refs have done a fantastic job in this World Championship, almost being reaffirmed every time the Hawkeye comes out, and they see it in real time. That is not easy to do.
Good point you make, Dane. Another very good call from Nina Hobie, the first referee in this women's elimination match. Round of 16, winner goes through to the quarterfinals. Germany have won the first set, 21-16. And as you can see, starting to enjoy the second set, starting to stamp their authority on it. 6-5 here. Ludwig again going to Kelly Claes with the service. Kelly Claes still not got the hang of that serve. But that's a good escape for Germany, an important point on the board to tie the scores at 6-all.
You see the athleticism of Claes and Hughes getting them out of trouble. There's a shank pass to the back of the court. Sarah Hughes puts it in perfect position, and then Kelly Claes ripping that one for the winner.
Kira Walkenhorst can do no wrong when she's spiking at the net. And if you blink, you miss them. They are so fast. For the women's game, just most impressive. Here she is with service. Equally as powerful serve, but she served Hughes this time.
And Sarah Hughes not even close right there. That ball way out of bounds. I think she was trying to go for high hands and get a touch off the block, but misses the court. A blocker as good as Walkenhorst is, she's not going to be fooled on those close ones. She's going to block in the court, not reach, and be used out of bounds.
Oh, another shank receive on the serve from Kelly Claes.
Oh, man.
And she's so disappointed with that first shot that her second shot is just, it's almost as if she's given up. Dane, you've coached these girls. I think we need to get you down there and have a word with them.
Well, you want to put this ball in play. Why spin it over the top? You just bump it over and set up your defense instead of giving them an easy point. Here comes Sarah Hughes right back, trying to get the U.S. back on track, but we've seen it so much, and we mentioned it so much when, like, Larissa or Talita are playing. The smart choices, and you learn that over time. Let's not forget these 2 youngsters, 22 and 21 years of age, respectively. Still a lot to learn on the FIVB World Tour, but they absolutely are the future. They've come up through the United States Volleyball National Federation kind of system, and they've played so well, the collegiate system as well. And for United States Volleyball, I think the future looks really bright for women's volleyball because it's a collegiate sport now. So you have girls playing at a very young age, trying to get a scholarship into college.
Yeah.
And this wave, Kelly Claes and Sarah Hughes are kind of that first example of going through the USAV program, the collegiate program, and now to the professional ranks.
11-8 to Germany. Dane, we discussed this earlier in the week, and I think it's worthwhile touching on the subject again. Why don't they buddy them up with some of the experienced pros from the American game? Put one of them with Kerry Walsh-Jennings, put one of them with April Ross, and then what would the story be?
Well, there's a roll shot. That's a pretty shot. That's a very good question, Nick, and a lot of people have asked that. Would these 2 younger players fare better with an older player that has that experience? And it's hard to tell. So far, they haven't made it to the top of the podium. And a lot of people think they would have with an experienced player, but there's something to be said about playing together. It's, you know, it's a tough choice, and they've had so much success at the collegiate level that you'd like to see them kind of progress together, and I think that's their idea, to try to do it together at least this year. If they don't win a tournament this year, I would imagine they'll start thinking of that type of an option.
Technical timeout, halfway point. Advantage with Germany, 11 points to 10. Pretty much going the same direction as the first set. Now let's just take a look at the serve placement of Germany here. And as you can see, a little more serving to Hughes as well as Claes, but they're going for that ace serve right down the middle of the court as well, Dave.
Yeah, you see Claes and Hughes, left and right side players. That's where the placement of all those balls are. That one ace you see at Kelly Claes, but the big story is the trouble passes from Claes, not the aces, but the troubles, and then resulting in a poor offensive attack. To give the Americans a lot of credit, they've hung tough here.
I agree.
This thing could be a 5 or 6 point margin, but it's just a 1 point margin. So they are hanging tough, staying strong.
Yeah, they're doing the USA proud. These girls are full of spirit. And Kelly Claes gets a block in that she absolutely loves. Tying the scores at 11-all, coming straight out of the tech timeout with a big stuffed block.
Great timing. Early over the net, pressing. Kelly Claes can be such a physically dominant force at the net. And there's Sarah Hughes.
Unlucky. Good hands from Hughes. Advantage back with Germany. But I think you've made a perfect point, Dane. They're still in their early 20s, these two American girls, up against seasoned pros, European champions, World Tour final champions, and the biggest of them all, the Olympic gold medalist from Rio last summer. Lovely touch. Nice little piece of finesse there from Sarah Hughes.
Sarah Hughes has quite the offensive arsenal. Beautiful set by Kelly Claes. Here comes Sarah Hughes. Gets the right side of the ball and cuts it in front of Ludwig.
Good cover from Hughes. Claes goes over on 2. Walkenhorst with the big attack. No, a little pokey. Just drops it over the front of the net as both of the young Americans back off the net. Good play from Germany.
Well, so smart. She recognizes that Kelly Claes drops out of the picture, and the tall blocker, Walkenhorst, showing that she has that touch.
Kelly Claes puts that ball out of play. Another break for Germany, 14-12. Kira Walkenhorst again to the back of court with service. You know it. She's going to Kelly Claes. Kelly Claes finally powers one down into Laura Ludwig.
That's interesting. Ludwig ends up at the net. She's not a blocker. You see how far off she's on the net. Not the best of technique. That's why Walkenhorst is a full-time blocker. But the fact that they are switching leads me to believe they're either trying to conserve energy so Kira doesn't have to run to the net. So the Americans, if they can pinpoint Kira and maybe test her, she's been known to sometimes run out of a little gas. Even though this tournament is spread out, the heat has been so excruciating, and a lot of players have kind of whittled under that 60-degree Celsius heat that's been down on the sand during this entire week.
Serving Laura Ludwig is not the winning way for the USA. Why would you do it when you've been so successful against Kira Walkenhorst? Change for the sake of change, and then you're made to pay within a matter of moments. Break back with Germany, 15-14. Now, Ludwig it is that takes service.
From way off the court. Look at that. And she did that completely by design. Laura Ludwig usually serves right on the end line. This time, she takes us about 10 feet back, puts it up right in the middle, mesmerizes the Americans, and drops right in the middle. What a serve.
Temperature starting to drop at last here on center court. It's been up in the 60s at one point. Good quick point back on the board and a quick side out for the United States of America, trailing Germany by just 1 point, but Germany have already wrapped up the first set at 21-16. Hughes with service. Again serving Lara Ludwig. We don't think that's the best way to play up here in the commentary box. Who are we to say? But it means Germany are back out in front again and back out by 2.
Yeah, they haven't had any success stopping Lara Ludwig. And they've really struggled trying to score points while serving. That ball gonna just trickle over the net. And smart play by Hughes, quickly going over before Walkenhorst can get set. Now it gets to be crunch time. Now the nerves, because you're down a set, you have to start to press the issue here. Serve tough, you need a block or a dig to score a point.
Ludwig makes sure it almost becomes methodical for the Germans now, with the USA serving Ludwig. Perfect set from her partner Walkenhorst, and she so consistently puts the ball away. (19-16) to Germany. It's looking like a 2-0 comfortable victory for the European and Olympic champions.
The serving has just been too tough. That time it's Hughes with the error, but these jump float serves can be mesmerizing. This team, one of the most effective serving teams on the tour. So this isn't the first time they've served a team off the court.
Hughes leaves it and gives Germany match points. They may be a little competition rusty leading into these World Championships, but every match they play, the magic seems to be coming back.
Just a blast by Walkenhorst, and then the hands up celebration by Lara Ludwig. Remember, this Olympic champion team has never beat these young Americans. Now they're just 1 point away from advancing.
Ludwig. Another jump float. Oh, the ball is out of play from Kelly Claes. The Olympic champions advance to the quarterfinals in their quest for their first World Championship gold. A brave attempt by the young American girls from California, but the dream was just not looking like a reality for Kelly Claes and Sarah Hughes. Good early exchanges, Dave, but they just couldn't hold their own against the quality side from Germany.
You know, a solid tournament by Claes and Hughes. They'll finish in 9th place, and Kira Walkenhorst and Lara Ludwig, you see the excitement on the face. They will advance to the quarterfinals, but the Olympic champions were just too strong. They outplayed them. They served much tougher than the Americans, and that seemed to be the difference. That's where the trouble began, and this is the final point. The Americans having more trouble, and the ball goes out of bounds.
It's a very good point that you make, Dane. The young American girls just struggling with their serve receive, not only in this, the second set, but also in the first. 9th position is a personal best for Kelly and Sarah in World Championship competition, but it would have been a dream come true if they could have made the quarterfinals. Quite simply outclassed by Germany, easily